we are dealing with the price action strategy, right? So we're going to be finding out how the graph makes it clear to us that it is about maybe to go bullish and it is about to be bearish, right? So we're finding the intentions of the graph before everything happens, because it always signals something before it does it. So today we're going to be finding out, we're going to be working with the lows and the highs and the higher highs and the lower lows, or but we're going to be actually finding the interest of the graph, the intentions. What is it about to do? What does it signal? Right? So I think if we can, we're going to start with Euro GBP, right? So this is a daily time frame, and we're going to be checking out how it breaks some certain levels and then come back to some lower points if it is bullish, and then so that you can actually be in the position and then go with it, right? Write an image trend. So in this case, right, in this case, first of all, let's say you wanted this bullish trend, right? Because we can see that it's an impulse, a correction, an impulse, a correction, and then it's going higher and higher and higher. Keep successful, making low, like higher highs, higher highs, higher highs. This is a successful bullish trend, right? So we're going to be studying how maybe you would have came back to this trade, to this position over here, and try to make your entries, because intentionally you can see it is bullish, making higher highs and higher lows, higher highs and higher lows, and up to this point where it actually failed to go beyond this one. So right now we need to use the history, and maybe it's going to tell us something, right? Because we always use the history to actually find out what is going on, what is about to happen, what is the intentions of the graph or whatever pair you're dealing with. So let's dive into this. So maybe at this point we've been like, you'll put some lines, right? You put some lines and then actually find out that this line was broken over here. As you can see, this high is a little beyond. Alright, so I'm going to zoom so that you can see that this went beyond this line. So it starts from there. We're going to be putting our line perfectly so that you can understand this. So it started over here when it went beyond this line, right? So in your mind, you were like, okay, we've broken this line, the very strong line that when we approach it, you know, we fail to break it, we fail to go through it. And then when we come closer to it, we feel some resistances, and then we go back down. When we come closer, we go back down. But this time we've broken it, but eventually it started working again and then pushed the price lower. So, but what I've said is that intentionally, what does it want to do, right? So at this very moment over here, when it's broken it and then left its high, I mean left, so left is high up here and then it went down. So it was very, very, very clear what does it want to do in the future. So the only thing you had to do is you had to be quick enough to go maybe lower and lower to actually find some support where you think we're going to be making our trades, our bullish trades, because intentionally showed you that my intentions as from this moment is actually going higher, but I will just not go higher. I will fall a little because moving at this point was in a corrective manner, right? This is a correction, some kind of an ABC correction. As you can see, the structure is not really an impulse, but with its correction, it tends to be an impulse. But at that moment when we didn't fall, we haven't fall, so it just became a bullish correction that still need to fall, right? They still need to fall because of this, some kind of an APC structure, right? Because we just name it like this, right? So corrections are always clear, they're in some kind of an APC format. So it showed us that we still need to fall, right, to compensate for this APC structure. So after that, after seeing this break of line and then this as in a correction, you will like, okay, we have a chance to fall, we might fall, and then so it's some kind of a discount because maybe you would have realized that we are now bullish as we are breaking this line. And so you cannot just buy over here at this break, you cannot buy over here. You need to wait for a price to go lower where you feel like, you know what, I can now get in the market, right? So this moment when it fell is some kind of a discount for you to go bullish to buy the market, right? So where can you make an entry? So I want us to talk about this pattern today that is like this, right? When it falls, maybe it creates something like this, and then as you can see, it's some kind of an APC, so it still needs to rise, right? But in that moment, you realize that, okay, we are breaking a certain structure level right now, so intentionally it wants to go higher. So where can you find some support where you can buy and then go higher? So obviously it is this point right over here, right? So maybe you buy over here and then you ripple this bullish trend. So it is something like this, right? This is your support over here. This always happens. I mean, usually in most cases you want to find it like this, where it uses this previous lower low, right, to find itself some support so it can support its bullish trend, because intentionally we have now broken this line, this structure, right? We have now broken the structure, and maybe there was some other structures over here where you can put your line like this, as you have seen over there, what we have talked about right now, where we broke a certain line, or we break a certain line, and then we have to come back down in a corrective manner, right, in an APC manner, which will signal to you that, okay, this is a correction, we may go higher again. So there is this some kind of a pattern right over here where you use this, right, and you go to where you want to go, just as to the bearish trend, right? It just goes like this and then like this. So intentionally it's gonna break over here, maybe a little bit or too much, it doesn't matter. But when you want to buy, you're going to be using these prices, and then you go lower. Then you're going to be putting your resistances over here like this, and then you find yourself some resistance, some position prices you're going to get in over here, right? So let's check. So let's come back and check that. So as you can see, we did it, right? So over here we had something like this, and then we went higher, and then we come back lower. So what did we do? We've broken the structure, right? So it gave you an enough signal that we are making something, and you need to watch out when you are taking your bearish trades. So we were like this, and then we did some kind of an ABC structure here, and then we found also some support down here, right? So I want you to realize uh, I want you to act quickly, like go quickly to where you want to make your trades when something is broken, maybe when the graph is just over here, and then you go back down because there's nothing you can do with it over here, right? Unless if you want to take some bearish trade to rip on this bearish trend. But if you're looking at the bigger picture and then you want to buy all this, you're going to let it break this line, right? Or so you're going to be like, oh, okay, I see you're breaking this resistance over here. Let me go down. So where can you make your entries? Simple. You just take this and just over here like this, because you want to be using this as your supports. As you can see, it's made a 10, it's made another 10, we have broken it, we have tested it again. For the first time you've used it and then you got this, but it is a little tricky because we haven't, at this moment, we haven't broken this trend. I mean this resistance, as you can see, we only turned over here. So you need to break it and then you come back down. So it's some kind of a great confirmation when you've broken it, not when you haven't. So excuse me. So it is like that to actually find out whether the trend is about to go bullish, right? So it shows you as early as possible, right? So this is a daily time frame, and then you want to go lower in terms of a time frame. You want to let these days go past you, and then you're just watching up until this, when you reach these prices, and then you can engage, and maybe you go to the 4-hour time frame and the 1-hour time frame. You actually try to find the perfect point where you can buy, right? Because maybe you cannot use a daily time frame to enter. But some other people will. So let's go to 4-hour time frame and then try to find the same thing over there, right? Also be trying to find the same thing. It was here. So again, how you would have, okay, let me use the actual lines so we can even find some prices. So this is your point over here. So you would have been waiting for it at this moment, but it is wise to take the fresh ones, but we do not have, or unless if you try to take this one, but we couldn't reach this one, right? And it is very minor, but you're gonna see some other times they do work. So, and this, when you come back, the structure needs to be in an ABC format, so in an ABC pattern, so that you can actually have some other confirmations that, right, we need to go bullish, because realize how we reach these prices lower. We haven't been making an APC, a proper APC, so it gives you an idea that you cannot just engage in something like an impulse, because at this moment in time you'll be like, what is it trying to make? Is it a correction or impulse? You don't know up until it did the thing, go up, and then come back down again, and you're like, okay, I now have my APC. It clearly shows to me that its intentions is to go bullish at these prices over here, right? So this is how you would have caught this one and using that pattern. So when it goes over and over, and then which support you have now, I mean the resistance that you need to break to actually tell yourself that you're going bullish, is this one right over here. And then I'm gonna remove this line, and then you want to be taking the fresh information now. So you come back over here. How can you find yourself some trades? It's over here, right? Okay, let me use this because the lines, become too much. So you come back to this point. As you can see, when you have broken it, so at this time maybe you do not really need to break it and then to have some kind of a confirmation, because already you have confirmed with an APC pattern over here using the other structure in the Dilithium frame. So it becomes easy for you to take some trades even without breaking it and then coming back to a certain point. But it's always great to wait for that break, but in this case it did not happen. It broke in but never came back to this price. So you just need to go raw over here and then just take this trade, because you know already it has told you that it is going bullish. So you had to somehow bounce over here and then come back, find your support with this um, price over here, which was the support turning to be a resistance over here, and then we went down and then we did the thing somewhere over here. We have broken it, come back and then test it, and then which one is the latest one right now. And then it's made this high over here, right? So you had to break it, right? So you've like broken it over here, but we come back to the same pattern over and over again. What's happened over here is, okay, we came back down and then we went up, we did this. So where can you find it? Is over here, right? So it's over here. We try to come back to it, but maybe you would have bought in this candle when you break above it. As you can see, the bullish momentum was high over here, as you can see, using this candle. But maybe you would have tried some other ones. There are so many of them, right? Because sometimes you need the price which has the most rejections. It's rejected over here, and then it tries to come back. So it becomes a little bit clear. So it is just like that, and that's how you actually deal with that pattern. So you're going to see when it tries to go bearish, right? So just like over here, when it was bullish and then came back down, and this, if you intend to sell the market, this is the price you're going to be using. This is the resistance line you're going to be using. So you take this when it comes back. You cannot sell just over here when you feel like, okay, maybe you would have sold over here if it's already below this, but as you can see, just above it. So it makes it tricky and not a worthy trade. It's not a worthy trade to take. So when it comes back to this price, right, so you take it. It is good. But you also have to know that which trades you need to value the most. So this was just a bullish trend, so maybe you wouldn't have taken this trade. And then you come back over here, you made your ABC, and then you failed again. A, B, C. It's little minor, but sometimes they are underminable, right? So as you can see, when we put this spike over here in this range, so when you came back, this is the only price you could have used. But if it's broken this, you would have taken these ones, these two, because they were the only one, the last ones that you can trust, other than this one. But at this moment, it is this one, so you bought over here, and then you came back again, you bought again, so maybe. So you get all the bullish trend, right? So when it tries to, as you can see, this fall, so let's try to actually find this fall. Let me remove these lines. Okay, good. So it was clear at this point how it was moving upside, right? It was creating some new supports and resistances, as you can see, like this. So by now you realize, oh, okay, if we break this line, it may signal some kind of a fall, as you can see. Broken it and tried to come back to testing some other levels, and then we went back down. So let's try to find out how you would have reacted faster, because the first reaction is actually important. So at this moment, you're like, okay, it's going higher and higher, but finding itself some support somewhere. So we're going to replace this. Perfect. And then we come back to this point where we have broken it. It's over here, right? So our low is just below this line. So it's a clean signal that, okay, we are about to fall, but we're going to be taking this one, right? This is the trusted price for now, to be like, okay, we can fall using this one. But if there are latest ones, you do not hesitate to just take them, right? Like these ones, this one over here. But this one is just not behind this one, right? So I should say before. It's not before. So it becomes, it's just the price that you prefer, but they are all working, right? They are all working, but these ones are not very much clean and clear. So maybe you would have done this, right? Because it is pretty much clear. What does it do? It keeps on making these higher heights, but in a corrective manner, because you haven't crossed this line, this price over here. So this one was clean at first when it's broken this, so you need to find yourself some supports, some resistance. Where can you find your resistance? And then you try this, and then which one is the last one you have is this one, right? So you always find them like that. Or maybe you would have been like, okay, let me do this, right? Yeah. So you would have done something like this when you have broken this line, and then you say, I want to make some entries in this price using these highs, and then this one should be above, and then come back lower, and then try to, as you can see, it's close below it, try to, compensate for this line. So it is clean even to this one. So you get your trend, you get your bearish trend, and then when it comes back up, so let's try to find this one using this sample. But you can actually use some order blocks and stuff like that. But as you can see, if we take this candle, this bullish candle over here, because it is the last candle, minor candle, after it, you actually saw some trend starting to go bearish, as you can see. But we're going to be using this kind of a pattern for now, and you do this right, so you try to bring back the history, and then it's going to work for you. So when we went higher, which price, because we're already below it over here, so which highs you would trust? It is these ones, right? As you can see, these ones, they held perfectly fine. So when you come back to them, this is when you can actually try to make your trades, as you can see. So, and use maybe some other lines over here to actually try to find a point where you can make this entry. And if we can come closer and closer, because maybe to the first hour time frame, it's all visible, right? So when we come close to these prices, as you can see, here is this pattern again. Here is this pattern again. It's just over here, over here, over here. So how you would have got some other entries around using this. And so you would have taken this, or maybe you would have used the actual candidate, but it failed to reach them. So it doesn't matter, but we almost try to reach them over here. So the pattern is actually good. It always holds. I mean, not really always, but it does hold. It's a good confirmation. It's a good confirmation. Or if you fail to reach it, because as you can see, it failed to reach that one, you would have taken this one. As you can see, it's end over here, right? So you would have taken this one. It's a good one. Change over here. So you see, okay, let me use this. So that I can get the full range of the spike. So we closed below it, so maybe you could have entered over here, right? So it's actually plays out very well right now. After you've broken it, right? So you have broken it over here, and then you go back up. Which one you're going to use? Maybe take this one, and then you close below it after you complete this correction. So it is clean even here, and then let's go again to the lower price. But you do not forget the fact that this is a bullish trend. This is a bullish trend, as in the daily time frame you've seen it. You've seen it from the daily time frame. So look at it, and this is actually the one that you can trust, the low that you can trust, because right now we have created our APC falling, our huge APC, and then this is the one that you can take. So you come back over here, take the full range of the spike, and then over here, just like this. And yes, just becomes clear right now. So first you need to go below it, and then go above it, so that you can find yourself some support. Sometimes it does not break this, because as you can see, there was no enough impulse to go over here and then come back, so we can break this price. It doesn't matter. Sometimes you're going to see its intentions even without breaking that price. Maybe if breaking this one is going to be enough, so it uses whatever it's going to use to actually show you in advance what does it want, right? So you couldn't reach that price, but you did break this line over here. So you need to go back down. Which price you're going to use is going to be this one, right? So if you can expand it a bit. Yes. So it is this one, right? You try to come back down here, and it was a little messy down here, but if you can go to 1 hour, let's go to 1 hour and actually try to find the perfect price, because there is a perfect price that's held very fine. And let's try to remove this one. So these are the prices we have here. This one right over here. So we went below it, and then we came back into because it starts down there, so we need to go back down there. And as you can see, okay, do not mind this one for now. So when you are done with this one, as you can see, it's held over here and over here. So when you are done, you move over to this one, and then maybe when it comes back again, you're going to use this one. But when you are done with it, because it just goes in a step-by-step way, and then it is this one again. Then let's try to find them, which one helped over here. So this one was the latest one, or not actually the latest one, but we reached this one first. So that's why I tried to hold over here and actually did hold. So as you can see, this one was the perfect one. And when you come back again, you try to use the fresh information. So let me remove these ones because they never worked. We'll try again to find some other fresh information. It's going to be this one in this case, right? Yes, so we did hold over here. So when you try to take this bullish trade, and then when you come back over here again, and then try some other fresh information, it's going to be this one, right? And then as you can see, we have made our entry over here. Or you take this one, right? So because this one is fresher than this one, but in your eyes, this one that is clearly visible. So we're going bullish using this kind of a pattern, right? This kind of a pattern, just simple, a simple pattern, and yet it is very powerful. So I don't want you to undermine it. But all in all, in the 4th-hour time frame, we were just getting this one. So as you can see, it was perfect over here. So you needed a bullish candle to just close above it, and then you did. So you can enter, and then you go bullish, just like that. Just like that. Even if we go on and on and on, and then find some other pairs, and this is New Zealand dollar, NZD, USD. It's going to be this one. So if you try to catch a bearish trend, it's going to be this one. So you close below it. So you close below it, and then over here, then you came back to test it. Here was your bearish candle that you needed, and then you went lower and lower and lower. So pretty much clear this one. But if you're trying to catch this bullish trend over here, you would have taken this, right? Okay, at first it was this one, but we couldn't come back to it, and then this one. So you came back to this one, so that you bought over here, and then this one, right? And you did have this one, and then you reached this one. So it was this one, maybe not this one, it was this one, which made you enter over here. As you can see, even the price reacted to it over here. So they're just always clean and clear, but just catch this bearish one over here using these ones, right? So we did not actually reach them, as you can see, but the idea is always like that. Because over here we're trying to find the intentions of a trend when it's about to change, when it goes down, when it creates these lows, these lower lows, and then you can use them perfectly fine just to, if you want to buy or if you want to sell, right? So what about this one? Maybe when you try to find this bearish trend, see these ones or these ones. So let's use this and let's take the range of a spike. As you can see, perfectly fine, you rejected over here, and it was actually a good trade, a very much good trade, right? So let's take this line and then put this over here. See, it was very, very, very much of a good trade. Then when you came back over here above this, when you try to find this bullish trend, and you would have taken this range. Okay, we actually couldn't reach it, but we tried, right? We tried to go lower and lower, trying to reach over here, but we just couldn't. So that is why you need to find some other reason why you may be stopped into reaching some other prices, you would have taken these, right? These were the fresh ones. You can take the range of the spike, right? So the fresh ones is these ones. So you find yourself some support over here, or it is here, right? Over here, let's take this range of a spike. Here, the spike. Sometimes it is minor. You can't even like treat it as a serious price to hold, but look at it. Try to make it change over here and over here and over here and over here. So this is how we would have got this bullish trend last week or maybe last month, right? I mean, there are orders here. You can go through a lot of them. It becomes clean and clear when it wants to change the price, the direction of it. See, when it made these lows, it's when you start to realize, okay, and then it's like this APC trying to break the structure. There's APC telling you that we can fall, but your fall needs to be in an APC form so that it can actually give you some other ideas that, okay, this APC means somewhere down here we will rise. So when you rise, you need to come back down for these prices, right, for these lows. So it actually did. Oh, it has taken these ones, right, in combination with these ones to actually find this support. And then you would have taken this one again to find in this range because they are just a little close together. And then you got your bullish entries and then you write this bullish trend. So it is always clean and clear. So it is that pattern, right? So I think it is good for now. We're going to meet in another video. If you are new to the channel, please hit the like and subscribe button.